Okay, so getting into troubleshooting now. I'll try to be quick, but cover the things we need. So the first one is when they do the, essentially like the wrestler switch. I go here, Aaron sits up to grab my leg. Okay, so how do I defend this? So the first thing, when he does sit up like that, I just want to post my hand on the mat and keep the hand on the ground. Okay, I want to keep him sort of like stretched out here, making it difficult to get up. If I let go of this too early, I feel like he can start building base, starting to step up on that leg. This is going to cause me more issues. He wants to like scoot himself underneath me, pull me forward, and start attacking here. So basically being under and posting is very hard to bump me forward. He's already going to find it slows him down a lot. All right, so once we're here, I've got my arm inside. Usually, actually, I've kind of messed up if I let him get up. To a certain degree, I've messed up letting him get up all the way on his hand like that. So preferably beforehand, you have to go back. Like I'm going over under, I see he's starting to step up. I want to be crowding. I want to start bringing my hips and chest over his head a little bit. Okay, because now it's harder to get up on that arm. Right. And I feel like once I'm up here, I can take my arm out and start to kind of cross face, grabbing the bottom arm. Okay, this is pretty good to now start moving towards passing. So at this point, I can start to flick my foot outside the legs, and I feel comfortable moving in front of the hips because he builds up to his knees here, hitting my back. What I don't want to do, see my weight down here, if I start reaching to his head, he's just going to keep building up. Okay, yes, and he's starting to come out towards my back. Okay, so I kind of need to roll my hips to the side. Don't let his leg out, just sort of keep it. We're here, he wants to get the leg out. I kind of want to keep it trapped at first until I'm hovered over the top. I go from here to here. Okay. Then I can start coming in front of the head. Right. At this point, because I'm blocking his leg and stretching his other leg, it's not actually that easy for him to come back to like a half guard or something. If he wants to try and cross his feet, okay, difficult to do. And when I want to, I can flick my foot out. Right. So I block, flick out, move past the hips. Once more from this side, as Aaron sits up, posting. Okay, I start moving up higher on the body here, and then I can start getting in front of the head. Okay, even picking up this arm if possible. A little bit of a waiting game. As we're waiting, I'm trying to free my foot, but if he's trying to build up, he should find that difficult. Okay, I'm starting to flick my foot out, move up, climb up the body. So the next one's essentially like tornado guard. So I go into the over-under and Aaron spins his head in between. He can use this to try to sweep or attach to my legs, or he can use it to take his foot back across my hip, and then he spins out. He's into open guard. Okay. So most of this should be stopped by my head position being in front of his leg. Right. He wants to do that. My head should come in front of his hips, and I'm trying to flatten the hips out. Right. Probably the biggest mistake you've made if this is happening to you is that you're trying to stack in the, I'm not trying to stack in the over-under position. Okay, if I start trying to stack in the over-under position, he's going to find this very easy. Okay? He'll find it easy to move his leg past my head, okay, and lift his hips. But if I'm keeping my weight, flattening his hips and my head here, he tries to do this. Okay, and then as he's doing that, we start working what we did earlier, flicking outside the legs. Okay, then coming into the single under. Next issue we run into, the knee shield. Okay, so Aaron manages to make a bit of space get this knee shield. This sucks. If he gets this, it's actually very hard to immediately attack off this. I've almost usually got to actually let go, start dealing with the legs, start moving that. Like if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to stay under the legs, he gets back to a knee shield over my arm. Probably unlikely to then lift the leg back up and get back to here. If I wanted to go under the legs, I'd probably punch inside this, let go with this one, and try and move to the other side, and then stop the knee shield. Okay, so we talked about this on the entry, that when we enter, and we know they want a knee shield, I put my head next to his knee. So he goes to knee shield now. That's difficult. If my head's coming forward here, you can start folding it across. Yeah, so you have to be, if you know they like this, you've got to be very early beating this. All right. And then similar thing, if he's starting to frame me away here, and I know he wants the knee shield, I'm going to keep my head away, close to the end of the lever here. Okay. If I focus on keeping it forward, you can get that in front. Okay, so if you're hovering your head in front, there's a lot of space. Again, there's a lot of space to get that through. Exact same position. He's pushing me away again, but this time I'm here. Okay, trying to square his hips up. Choi bar and Kimura. Okay, so Choi bar or Kimura, in both cases, basically there needs to be some space between my arms. So the way I first I should stop this by having my elbow tight to my ribs and my head on the front side before I enter. Okay, and then as I enter, this should be closing in very tight, so there's no gap. He tries to reach under or get the Kimura, it's difficult. Okay, once he does start to get some of these grips though, what do? Okay, so Kimura, for example, right? Pretty much in both cases, once they get their grip, okay, and my head's on the wrong side, if my head's on the front side, I might be able to try and burrow my head back in front. Okay, actually I should talk about that first. So if my head's on the front side, he's going for the Kimura grip, just keeping my elbow close. This should kill it. If he goes for the Choi bar, he scoops inside, I can swim back, right, or put my thumb inside his bicep. Okay, we'll talk about this more in bicep, right? Once my head's on the far side though, so I've committed to the over-under a bit more, and he goes for these. Okay, one of the worst things to happen is this leg gets over my head. This comes over, he can now break my posture by kicking. Okay, and I've got the Kimura or where there was a Choi bar as well. Okay, these are both very dangerous if he can keep my posture and my head's now separated from my arm. Okay, so what we want to do, when he starts getting either of those grips, bring your head quite forward, lean it into their leg. Okay, so here with the Kimura grip, I'm going to try and flick outside the legs now. Okay, so I'm going to work outside the legs and I start gripping underneath my own leg. Okay, when my hand can come in front of his hip, I can start hovering my head towards the front side. And now, when my head hovers, okay, and my hand's tucked like this, I want to try and turn Aaron to face the ground. Right. Once he faces the ground, he tries to put the Kimura on. Very difficult. I can start focusing on turning my wrist and recovering. Okay, so you see, if he can face the roof, my arm comes out, he can put my arm behind my back. If I use my pressure, I'm pushing off the ground, I'm leaning, trying to get him facing the ground while my arm's tucked. Okay, now even if the arm comes out, it's hard to put it behind my back. So I should be able to straighten and turn my wrist. If that's difficult, we can start crowding even more, okay, and try to break that grip this way. Possibly stepping over to an arm bar. I guess that's another course. We can focus on that. Right. Choi bar, a little different. Yes, a Choi bar grip. I'm first here. Okay. Again, if I can swing in front of the legs. So in both of those cases, Choi bar. My head was here. I don't want to try. As soon as I go to take my head over, he might swing his leg or his shin in front of my head. So I've got to go head, arm. Okay. Now when he tries to swim, I can now start getting my head over the top again, like this. So to escape the Choi bar, I can't pummel my arm out here. Okay. But if I can hover my head over the shoulder, I can turn my elbow in. Okay. Again, if I can get here, I can start focusing on turning my hand palm up, extracting my elbow. All right, so next is the shoulder drag. So if Aaron can square my head up a bit and he can reach towards my shoulder. Now, if my head's very close to his leg, I'm not that bothered. Like if I'm here and he reaches to my shoulder, I'm not bothered. Okay. I'm just gonna pass and kind of thank him for not focusing on pushing my head anymore and grabbing my shoulder, okay? But if he's managed to pull my head a bit forward, so I'm like a bit more here, and he grabs my shoulder, it's very hard for me to go here. And I'm worried that he's gonna keep turning my shoulders this way, pull down, and start going towards my back or an arm drag, okay? So as soon as as soon as he grabs my shoulder and I know I'm out of position, I gotta post, okay? It gives me some structural stability. He tries to kick his leg through here, and it's a little bit caught. Okay, if this hand's floating, if we go back, it gets like dragged all the way out. Okay, so I'm gonna post and immediately try and cut my other arm across. My head goes low. Right, so head almost tries to go to my hand. Yeah, my other arm goes over the other side of the head. Okay, I want to go this side because he's trying to redirect me out this way. If I tried to cross face, I'd get pulled out. Okay. I've got to catch the other side of his body. Okay. And then I can try and flick my leg out and try and pass through. All right, they push